Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be checking out Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. And here I am up at one of the look-ups at the top of the hill overlooking all of Puerto Vallarta. Views are absolutely stunning. You got to come up here and check it out. Although the stairs coming up are extremely steep, but well worth the views. Check this out. So this is my first time in Puerto Vallarta, and we're gonna be here for about a week, so we'll get into a few things. We'll check out some look-offs, some churches, maybe some artwork, and of course the beach, so stay tuned. It should be a fantastic video. So if you want to come and check out the look-off I'm at right now, I will leave a map and the route below. It is very steep, but definitely worth the views once you get to the top. All right, so we'll go have a look at the church behind me, Our Lady of Guadalupe. Originally, it was a chapel built in, the foundation was set around 1900, 1901, and then the church was actually built between 1930 and 1940. So we'll head inside and we'll have a little look around. It looks spectacular from the outside. I can only imagine it's gonna be amazing inside. So I just wanted to give you a little overview of Oscar's right on the Isla Cuale by the river there. Fantastic little restaurant, kind of on the higher end of things. I started with a Mezcal passion fruit cocktail, absolutely phenomenal. Then I went with the guacamole, which is one of the best guacamoles I've ever had. I had a chicharron stuck in the top of it, some queso, all kinds of stuff in it, absolutely delicious. I followed that with a trio of tacos pastor, so that's like the pork with the pineapple. Those were dynamite. I also had another mezcal cocktail. This one was a rosso, kind of had like a little spiciness to it. Very, very good. After you're done your dinner or your lunch or whatever you're there for, head right across the path and there's a tequila distillery which is owned by Oscar's. You can go in, you can do a tasting. There's kind of like a little museum on the process and stuff like that. Beautiful setting, nice grounds, and very, very friendly staff. I tasted a bunch of tequilas, not all of them. They have some dessert ones, which was really cool. The guy I was dealing with there, he made a combination of, I think it was 3 different tequilas, and it almost tasted like a Mars bar. Absolutely phenomenal. And then I tried some margarita tequila. I ended up getting my daughter a bottle of the passion fruit tequila, which is basically ready to mix 4 margaritas, and I bought myself a 7-year-old tequila right here from Jalisco State. Absolutely phenomenal. One of the smoothest tequilas I've ever had. This blows like Casamigos or Patron or any of that stuff out of the water. Now, it's not cheap. Obviously, the younger the tequila, the less it's going to be. I went with the 7-year, and I got that bottle for my daughter. Ended up coming to about $240 Canadian. But it's going to be reserved for this is not like your Friday night, let's do shots kind of tequila. But what an experience. Great restaurant, and absolutely fantastic tequila. So highly recommend checking that out. And it's all kind of outdoors, just covered at the tequila distillery. So really nice vibe in there. Something you might want to check out. I think you could just buy a tasting and you don't have to like buy the bottles like I did. Obviously, if you buy the bottle, you don't pay for the tasting. But yeah, fantastic little experience. So I'm over here in the Malecon in Puerto Vallarta, and it's absolutely gorgeous. It runs right along the beach for about a mile or 12 blocks. You're gonna find all your bars, restaurants, tourist information, street performers, all that kind of stuff. Lots of artwork, statues. Beautiful walk along the beach here in Puerto Vallarta. The Malecon you're gonna frequent pretty much all the time if you're staying down in Centro or in the Zona Romantica. It's an absolutely happening spot, and you're gonna wanna check it out day and night. So if you're walking along the Malecon, you may spot a giant pole, and sometimes there will be a group of guys there dressed up in like historic costumes. Well, they are the Voladores de Paplanta, and that is the Flying Birdmen of Puerto Vallarta. And they're performing an ancient ceremonial ritual basically to the gods to get rain. I'm not going to go in depth here, but you'll see it multiple times a day right here on the Malecon in Puerto Vallarta. You can leave a tip at the end of the show or buy a souvenir. It's a pretty interesting ritual to come across just as you're walking around. They basically ravel a rope around this pole, spin around as they play music coming down to the beach, and it will unravel 13 times on the way down. Super interesting, super cool little thing to take in as you're walking along the Malecon. So I decided to take a little coffee break here, walking around all morning. So I stopped at Cafe La Flor de Cordoba, right at the end of the Malecon, kind of. I'll drop the address below. Super good, really loved it. Went with a churro cappuccino. Highly recommend grabbing that. A little sweet, but very, very nice. And they have a nice selection of coffee beverages in there. So anyways, yeah, I'm gonna finish up this cappuccino, and then we'll hit the road and see what else we can find. All right, guys, so we're gonna head up to a look off. If you're on the Malecon, look for this Poseidon statue, and then you're gonna head right up Calle Mina. It'll turn into some stairs, and I will see you at the look off. So I'm at a little look off here, just off the Malecon, maybe 2 or 3 blocks up a hill. It's called the Faro de Matamoros. And if you look on Google Maps, it says it's way down the road, Matamoros, like Calle Matamoros. It says way down there. It's actually right here. But on Google, this is labeled look off, and Faro de Matamoros is basically an empty lot at the end of the road. So don't get confused, but it's very easy to get here. The Malecon's right there, right down the road. You see that road? That's Calle Mina. Take that from the Malecon, and it'll turn into some steps. You'll come out literally right there, and then it's what, 20 feet from the stairs. You have amazing views of the church, Zona Romantica, and then the rest of Puerto Vallarta, all the way over to Nuevo. And it's easy to get to compared to the one way up the Mirador, up by the radio tower. Don't bother going up there if you don't feel like it. It is worth it though. The views are nice, but the hike is a little intense if you're not physically adept. But anyways, yeah, here's the look off. Absolutely beautiful. So since I'm in Mexico, I decided to stop for a margarita, and I found this cool little place right on the Malecon. It's called El Patron Viva Vallarta, and it has a little kind of terrace right over the Malecon. Check out these views. Absolutely amazing place to have a little drink, and the margarita is absolutely delicious. So I was just walking around over here at Isla del Rio Cuale, and I came across a little garden. We'll take a spin through. It's the La Jardin de Amistad. Kind of nice looking. They got a little path going through. It's kind of small, but we'll take a little look. They got some interesting plants, and it's right along the river, of course, and right by the cultural center. So we'll have a little peek around and check things out. So the island here was actually formed by a rise in the river, and it created a fork, and it was temporary. And then in the mid 70s, I think 1975, they actually dredged the river and made this island a permanent structure. Now you'll find all kinds of different shops throughout kind of the center of it. At the far back, you'll find like a cultural center, and there's also like a kind of a cat colony. Surprisingly, it's right beside the dog park, which is interesting. They seem to coexist. And then way down at the front near the water is Oscar's, which a beautiful restaurant and also a tequila distillery. So interesting little place right here in the heart of Puerto Vallarta. All right, so I stopped at a really cool restaurant here right on the beach in Puerto Vallarta called Noroc. It's kind of cool. It has like water, almost like pools around your table. Very, very interesting design. Never seen anything like it. And the views are phenomenal. You're literally on the beach. So I just wanted a light lunch, so I went with a red aguachile, which is raw shrimp that's fresh cured in some chili, like cilantro, cucumber, red onion, avocado. Absolutely delicious. You just whack it on a little kind of tostada or like a saltine. They provide you with a bunch of sauces and stuff, but you don't need it. It has enough flavor and heat just in the dish they give you. It's super delicious, very unique. And I went with a cocktail that was mezcal based, had some guava and beet infusion. Super refreshing, especially in this heat in Mexico. And I finished with a whiskey sour, which is one of my favorite cocktails anywhere. So highly recommend checking out Noroc. The aguachile is absolutely phenomenal, very tasty. They have 3 different versions of it. They have a red, black, and a green. I went with the red, like I said. Absolutely phenomenal. Highly recommend Noroc here on the beach in Zona Romantica, Puerto Vallarta. So the people here at Noroc are super friendly, and as I was wrapping up my bill, my server and the barman kind of gave me a quick impromptu lesson on mezcal, and they pulled out some of their top shelf mezcals, one being from cactus and the other being cannabis infused. So seeing as I like to try new things, I ordered up a shot of that cannabis infused mezcal, which was quite nice. No putrid cannabis taste or anything like that. It was just like a kind of like an earthy organic taste layered on the mezcal. So overall quite nice. That came served up with a lime, orange, and 2 different salts. One was like a citric salt. I believe the other was lavender, but I could be wrong on that. Very, very nice. Also, on the aloe leaf here in the middle of the plate, that is fried grasshoppers, which are actually quite nice. They're crunchy, salty, a little bit nutty. Very, very nice kind of salty bar snack. So overall, I had a fantastic meal here and a fantastic mezcal tasting. Highly knowledgeable staff. Check her out if you're here in Puerto Vallarta. All right, guys, so if you're walking around the Malecon in the evening, anytime really after 5 at night, you will find all kinds of stands selling fruit, cakes, elote, which is the Mexican street corn, drinks, you name it, they got it. It's all here right down on the Malecon. Yeah, and it's pretty reasonable actually. If you want to come try a bunch of stuff or just one thing, just come every night really. Lots of different desserts, snacks. You can have a whole meal here. Hamburgers, hot dogs, fries, you name it. They got it all here on the Malecon every single night. So I stopped at a little stand here on the Malecon, and they're selling little bags of like fruits and different vegetables and stuff. I went with a cucumber, and I believe that's jicama in there. And then they have some condiments. I went with chamoy and tajin, which are 2 popular things here in Mexico. So I already tried it. Absolutely delicious. If you love tajin, it's hard to explain chamoy. You really just got to try it. It's absolutely delicious. So huge bag of cucumber and jicama, only 50 pesos, which is like, I don't know, $4 Canadian. So pretty good deal. I'm gonna tuck into this, and yeah, we'll just keep walking around the Malecon, see what else we run into. So it's sunset here in Puerto Vallarta, and I'm over at Muelle, Playa de los Muertos, which is just like a kind of like a little walkway that's built out into the ocean just off the beach here. A lot of people gather here for sunsets, and of course up on the Malecon. It's quite beautiful. I'll just show you right here. There's a little walkway up from the beach, and then of course everybody's at the bars and having dinner. They'll put tables and chairs right on the beach, absolutely stunning. And then look, all up here, more bars, restaurants, everybody's out, crowd gathering here for sunset. And yeah, we'll hang out for a bit and get some shots and leave you with the sunset. So I stopped at a little beachside restaurant here called Senor. The views are absolutely stunning, literally feet from the water. And I went with a coffee, a water, and some chicken chilaquiles for breakfast. And chilaquiles are one of my favorite breakfasts ever. They're absolutely phenomenal. If you've never had them, you gotta try them. So tasty. And yeah, just gonna hang out here for a little bit, and then maybe we will head up to the art museum here in Puerto Vallarta. So I wanted a little change of pace, so I grabbed a taxi and went up to the hills just above the Zona Romantica to a art museum, the Arte Vallarta Museo. They have some sculptures, some painting, a little bit of abstract art, some traditional, not super well versed in the art world, but highly enjoyed it. A really nice paintings, some interesting sculptures, and some other artwork. Highly recommend coming up. There's really no admission. It's like a donation. They're looking for about 100 pesos per person, so that's pretty reasonable, about $10. And yeah, it's actually quite nice. They're having an event here. Unfortunately, I'll be out of Puerto Vallarta when the event goes on, but maybe check their website, look for events. It's a fantastic little spot to kind of have a walk around, take a peek if you're into art, or even if you're not into art. It's a fantastic place to kill about an hour or so. And yeah, check her out if you're here in Puerto Vallarta. So I'm over at Parque Lazaros Cardenas here, right kind of in the center of the Zona Romantica, not far from the beach. That's the park where you find all the mosaic tiled benches scattered around. They have some nice plants and trees all over the place. In the evening, you'll see like musical performances at the front of the place. And then I believe on Saturday, they do a little local market. Unfortunately, I won't be here on a Saturday to record that, but kind of a nice place to maybe grab a coffee or a drink and just come over and people watch. Beautiful, beautiful spot here, right in the heart of Zona Romantica. If you're looking for a cool experience to kill some time here in Puerto Vallarta, check out the Choco Museum right off the Malecon. It's absolutely free to enter. You can check out the museum, kind of the history of chocolate making and stuff. You can also do some taste tests and check out the store, but they also offer some classes. You can do like bean to bar, you can make truffles, and you can also do the full chocolate experience where you can make all the chocolates and drinks and all that kind of stuff. They have quite a few products inside, for everything from chocolate bars to jams to sauces. Really interesting. Like I said, free admission unless if you want to do a class. Highly recommend checking it out. It's actually quite neat. I bought a bunch of bars inside. They come in all different flavors. They have like chocolate with mole, chocolate with cinnamon, pecan, you name it, they got it. Really cool. So definitely a nice activity to do here in Puerto Vallarta. So if you're staying in the Zona Romantica and you want to get some birria tacos, and those are the tacos that were created here in Jalisco State, the birria, they come with the consomme, you're going to want to head back to Tacos de Birria Chanfe. It's just in the back of Zona Romantica on the side of the road. They have like a little kind of like area where they have about 6 or 7 tables. Super friendly people, reasonable price, 88 pesos for a hibiscus water, which is absolutely delicious, and 3 birria tacos with the consomme. I went with 2 soft, 1 crispy. Phenomenal place, super friendly staff. I'll drop the address below if you want to check it out. I highly recommend you do. It's a great little lunch and super affordable. Just another point on tacos here in Mexico. Some of the most tastiest tacos you're gonna find are gonna be the ones with the little stalls on the sidewalk or on the side of the street with a few stools. Pull up to one of these. I stopped at Taqueria El Sabor Jarocho. Absolutely dynamite. Went with a few tacos, another hibiscus water. Super friendly people and some of the best tacos you're gonna get anywhere in Mexico. All right guys, so I'm gonna wrap the video up here. Had a pretty good week down in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. The temperatures were fantastic. Averaged about 30 degrees Celsius all week, and that's in mid-January. Puerto Vallarta is absolutely a great place to come get out of the cold, lay on the beach, party if that is your vibe. The food has been fantastic. Had some great ceviche, tacos, chilaquiles. The Mezcal and Tequila were fantastic as well. Everybody's super friendly down here. It's safe also. I did not stay in an all-inclusive. I don't like them. So I just stayed in a hotel. I like to be out and about and eat off the economy. One thing I will say, Puerto Vallarta is super touristy, so if that's not your thing, you might want to avoid it. But for laying on the beach, partying, maybe an excursion or two, it is a great place for that. I think next time I come to Mexico though, I will maybe go check out the pyramids, do a little more history and culture kind of a trip. It's kind of more my style, but I had a great time here. That being said though, that it is touristy. People are always trying to sell you something, literally every block you could, but I mean, that goes for anywhere where it's super touristy. And yeah, my one kind of complaint is literally you walk out of your hotel about 8:30 in the morning and people are trying to sell you weed and cocaine, which is kind of a little bit of a turnoff. But you know, I'm sure if you're here with your kids, they're probably not trying to sell you that stuff while you're with your kids, obviously. But just wanted to point that out. Wasn't a huge deal, but you will be basically approached to be sold everything from trinkets, you name it, and whatever they're selling, blankets, hats, shirts, jewelry. But I mean, that goes with the territory being in a super touristy region. So yeah, but other than that, had a fantastic time. Highly recommend coming down if you want to get out of that cold from Canada and the northern United States. It's a great place for that, and the weather of course is beautiful. Anyways, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one.